Good day, folks. It's time to look at another M Plus walkthrough, and today we are back at Azure Vault. First off, before we head into the video, there's gonna be a few pictures on the screen right now. You can pause if you want to take a look at it. The first part is talents on the Paladin, and the rest is the root. The root is a bit special this week because it is probably one of the worst FX combinations for Azure Vault. Since we have bolstering, which is kind of harsh. But yeah, first pull, sending a shell, taunting quick on the Lasher pack over here, just to aggro all of them at the same time, so they are kind of synced. Then we're sending our potion to get a lot of aggro, and then pumping our bell. That gives you the aggro you need, and it also stops the small lasers for quite some time. What you kind of ideally want to do here is use your blinding lights and your kicks as much as possible to stop the lasers. And ideally they're synced from the thing we did in the beginning. If they're not, you can like use your small shield kicks and your own kick to stop them. And then when it comes to tanking the packs here, you can take 1, 2, 3 stacks of the frontal, depending on your CDs. Like you can take 1 without CDs, and then I'd say around 2 you can start using your stops and letting it reset, and after that you can kinda start using stops again. I have a good group with some good stops, but yeah, we used most of the utility here and it went fine. We also have a decent comp for this. We have the Shaman with a lot of stops and the Druid also. But yeah, that was a lost pack, and now we're gonna do 2 small packs. Which seems a little inefficient, but this pack you kinda have to do. The tender has a lot of HP, and then the next pack, what I found to be like the best to do is just do 4 small lashes. They die quite quickly and nothing get bolstered. Not a big pull though, but it's kinda what you have to do with bolstering. But yeah, here we're just gonna try to do some power damage on the skull, aka the tender. Want this guy to die as quickly as possible, and then using our kicks on the small guys here. And in the first pack, what you also can do if you're struggling with tanking the frontals or too many casters going through from the lashers, you can use your boss to tank the pack. It's like 10 seconds where you don't take damage from the frontal. And then you can use some defensives, and then when your forbearance head off, if the pack is taking so long, you can bubble once again to clear your stacks or tank this pack for another 8 seconds. It's kind of huge. Now we're onto the 4 pack here, using a sentinel, a bell, just to damage CDs. I could send Tuna here too, just to do some extra damage. Not really anything we have to worry about when it comes to damage intake here. What you also could do here is like pull the backpack with the tender and the 3 lashes, which we're not gonna take in this pull. I just found it to be on Fortified. It was a bit spicy with bolstering, but that is what I normally would do. Especially if you're on comps, you would have like 2 minutes and stops back for a bigger pull there once again. Here you just kind of wanna stack the tenders as quickly as possible. Need 1 medium kick on each of these tenders, and then you're chilling. Even range kicks, that works out too. So just a kick in general. What I do is like try to stack the tenders as quickly as possible, and then I just get the small boys either through the boss fight or just afterwards when the tenders are much more low and we are in control of them. Since they take the longest, and we just want to get damage going on these guys. And they can be a bit like annoying to stack up, but what you can do is just like take 1 and then run down the middle, so you're closer to the 2 tenders, and then pull them that way, instead of like running around in a circle. Then it takes forever to get all of the trees. And if you have a rogue or a hunter who can misdirect, it can be, especially a hunter, it can be really helpful with stacking all these saplings up. And don't be scared to just use your defensives. These trees can hurt quite a bit. It's not something you usually die from. You can just run away and heal yourself a bit, but they do quite a bunch. But as long as you have like your major defensives for the boss, you are okay. Now we're gonna head into the... It's an interesting boss. I kinda like it, but I also hate it at the same time. We do have some tools to make this boss easier though as a paladin, but the fact that you have to move around quite a bit is a bit annoying. But we're still starting off with Sentinel here, positioning ourselves in the middle, then taking our hit here, and then we're just gonna try to snipe at least 2 packs of these small trees. You can also do it in the outer ring. I found it to be a bit more consistent to do it in the middle. Just get the middle out of the way. And here, ideally you move out of the ring you could see that he made, because if you stand in that ring you take extra damage, and it can hurt quite a bit. And here we're probably gonna use a potion. You can use a bell here or Tyr, but since we used a potion we don't need to use any of those tools. Ideally we just send it a bell anyway, because what you want to do if you don't have the electric potion, as I had to get aggro down, is you want to use bell for one sections of when all that spawns, and then you want to use Tyr for the other sections, so you get aggro as quickly as possible. Because if you do not do that, especially on tyrannical keys, you're gonna run into like a situation where somebody's gonna have aggro on them, because people are always sending CDs too quickly usually, and you have no chance in hell to get aggro on the small guys here. Here we're probably gonna see him using Belia. Used it a little early because I want to make sure I get the aggro, because when the stumps come, that's the thing where your DPSs want to use CDs or defensives, and if they don't do that, or if they do that but they're getting bitten by saplings and getting quite low, they're out of this world. Here we got we're a bit slow on a boss, but yeah, we're using boss. You see I have 3 seconds left at it. You can... Boss is a good way to deny one of the tank hits. And you can also stand in the puddles, the small trees, when you're in boss. So that's a good way to reposition yourself and take a tank hit if you need it. Same with bubble. You can also use bubble to get aggro on small guys. Here we're gonna use Tyr to get aggro. And there we got it. And we're just gonna pump. You can see how low, like the healer dropped to like 16%. If he had a guy in him, he would be dead there. Yeah, it looks like somebody has aggro, but I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that's a Earthfella from the shaman. Here we're popping Sentinel, healing ourselves a bit up, so we're chilling. And then we're gonna hit the trees one more time here, and then the boss should be dead. And another little tip is, when we explode the trees here, try to save a horse to get as quickly as possible into the middle, so you can get into position to get aggro. That's another way to make this fight a bit more smooth. So now you have the horse, and here probably gonna send Tyr, ideally not Bell, yeah, because boss is dead and we are heading into a 4 frontal boy pack or whatever you want to call it now, and I really want something to get aggro. I don't have the potion, so Bell is ideally what we're gonna use here. But yeah, so far so good. Just gonna get down and activate this as quickly as possible. We're just gonna do the 4 pack here, and then we're gonna have the priest Mindtooth. I think we might pull the small inventor actually afterwards. But yeah, popping a sentinel, popping a bell, getting the aggro, getting into a corner, so everything is stacked up. And then we have hammer and blinding, but we're gonna hold it and take some hits, and then I'm gonna freedom the rogue here. I have the talent, so we both get freedom. And while you do that, you both can stand in the treasure's AoE, and it does nothing. Good way to keep damage going on this guys. I'm just waiting to take a hit. I took a hit. And I'm popping our defender to take another hit. And we have bubble, or we can LOS around the pillar here. Gonna bubble here. Gonna give the rogue his freedom so he can keep damaging. So we're chilling still for 2 seconds. Then we're gonna take a hit in a bit here. Gonna pop Guardian. Still only have 1 dot chilling going, so we're just chilling still. Now we have 2, so the third here ideally, we wanna LOS it behind the pillar. And then we are getting CDs up. I just wanna be safe here, I don't wanna use more, so I'm just gonna LOS behind the next pillar and let everything die. You have so many pillars you can LOS behind, so there's nothing to really worry about. It's if you don't have defensive LOS, it's like first defensive, then stops, and then you can LOS. So yeah, kinda chill pack that way. Here we have a next LOS pull. Kinda standard keeper with 4 elementals and 1 big guy. A bit of a wheelchair here, we're getting it. Here we just wanna focus star on the moon, the big guy who does the swirlies, and make sure to kick the keeper so nobody is getting bind. And didn't mention it, but if you saw the talent at the beginning of the roots, we are running a certain shielding talent in the bottom left corner in the class tree. It gives you a little bit less of holy power, generate like 10%. It's 10% less quickly your holy power generating abilities are getting off CD, but it gives you around 15 to 20% of your overall healing. Really like that on Fortified weeks. Would recommend it. But if you don't have too much H, do care about the less holy power generating thing. That can be a bit scary. Just finishing the pack here, and then you're gonna do another double pack here. It is 2 beefy guys, another unstable curator and the treasure here, but since we have 2 of them, and we can just tank it in the spot with the freedom, I found this pack to be kinda okay on this week. We are taking 2 hits from the frontal, and we are just we are not getting a reset here, so it's fine. We can take another hit. As long as you reset the dots from the frontal, you're good to take another 1 or 2, depending on if you have CDs or not. But yeah, that talent can you take, and you get like that 15-20% shielding. Only do it on Fortified, I would say. It's like general healing, general tankiness, which is good for Fortified. But like a Tyrannical, you would rather have the extra holy power generating, be more like more damage, more single target, more time and sentinel, stuff like that. And you can even go another build where you don't do the extending sentinel stuff, if you don't have too much haste with the shielding stuff. There's a bit to play around with. But here just finishing off the pack. Again we use freedom, so this guy does nothing. He slaps a bit, but that's pretty much it. After this we should be jumping down here. To jump down you can always use your buff to safely get down. If you don't have buff, yeah, get a priest with slow fall. I hoped he put it on us all, but he didn't put it on me. He was ready to grab me, so I wasted buff there, but that's all good. Here we're gonna head into another double pack. In this pack we just wanna focus the construct. It's the one with the highest HP, and then make sure to kick the keeper, and then do as little damage as possible on the attendant, since it has like I think 1/5 or 1/4 HP of the construct or something. Dies pretty quickly. Yeah, tanking with sentinel here. In this pack ideally, if you have to, try to kite it, because after this pull we're gonna head into a bit of a bigger pull where we definitely need some defensive CDs. It's gonna be the slappers in the second boss room, like potion and buff and guardian and all that stuff. We want it up and ready. Gonna miss a little bit of it, but we should be good. This route, if you want to do it, you can definitely go for it, but The last area is a bit specially made for bolstering. Then I would rather take a look at the old 24 Azure Vault video we have, if you're not on bolstering. But feel free to use this. Here, just heading in, grabbing aggro with a hammer or shield, sending a consecrate to slow them. Just sending a bell here. And then we're just gonna tank in a sentinel again for as long as possible. If you can, in between the ice cutters here, I didn't do it really in the first pack here, but try to use a hammer to stop some of the hits, because then you can like delay overlapping a defensive. Like we're in Tuna now, gonna pop Arden Defender now, getting ready to kick the Keeper. Still Arden Defender for 2 seconds, so we're still chilling. Here we get an external, so we can chill a bit. I choose just to not use more on this pack. We could definitely have used Bob and went in a tank for a longer time, or we do use Guardian for a little bit. But after this, I think we're just gonna kite. Yeah, we're gonna kite now. Again, we don't have to. We could use Bob and we could use Sentinel, but we're gonna tank the big guy afterwards. I just wanna have a little bit for that guy. If it wasn't bolstering, you could definitely be using, and you didn't have to use your Bob to jump down, you can definitely be using your whole package and also tank this big guy onto the pack we just took. But you have to be really careful on how you manage your CDs, because if you fuck up, you will get one shot. Gonna pull the guy here and just chill with this guy for a bit, since we don't really wanna pull anything onto him. He has such a big HP pool, so there's a big chance that he will get bolstered, and people just have to deal with swirlies and stuff, and there's no point. Now when it's like almost the same HP, we're gonna chain it here. We're just gonna kill it together. Popping Guardian Defender here, going to take Ice Cutter, healing ourselves up. Did proc there. A death thing, but we had Guardian Defender, so we are not dying. This one we might bubble. Yeah, we're gonna bubble this one. And then we're probably gonna tank the frontal a bit and Bob here. And now we don't want to take more hits from this guy. And we just want to kill this pack off. And then we're going to pull the West of the Room. And yeah, here, just make sure to kick the guy. Like the icy thing, that's the most important thing. Ideally you can pull even bigger in here if you have people kicking that. But sometimes people forget, and you have to be looking a lot at your defensives because of how hard these guys slaps. Here sometimes, maybe I do it here. I choose not to, but you can put a hammer on that guy in front of you, so you have some time to stack these guys up. Gonna tank them for a little bit, since I just want them to get a bit lower. The health pool is a bit bigger than the caster and the two swirly guys here. And then we're just gonna head into the pack, start focusing the Keeper down. Again, here we're holding Tyr. Chilling in Tyr, we have a Vog ready. Healing ourselves up. Then we're sending Arden Defender. He's gonna get a Vortex here. And now we could head in with Guardian definitely. We also have a boss option. Not gonna do it though. Stopping some casts with blinding again. That's basically a defensive, especially if you drop all three of them. Choosing to save something for the boss here. You don't really have to, because okay, we're gonna send Guardian anyway and walk in. As long as you have Sentinel, you have a long time to take a lot of hits. Running out here, so making sure to get out of range. They are bolstered a lot. I don't want to send more on this single guy. Since the healer had full mana, I could have popped Sentinel a little bit earlier there and just pulled the boss, but since the timer was fine at this moment, I just chose to finish off the pack for safety. And here the first spawn can be a little annoying sometimes, so I just let the guys finish it off. And here we have Sentinel. Waiting with our Vog, and then we're just gonna make sure to always stack the boss on top of the ad, so we just can cleave the ad down, ideally. If you have a focus like macro or something, you can just focus the boss as well, but I usually focus the ads to make sure that when the bell is going, I just take all the kicks and then we get a little extra damage on the guy. But you can definitely, everybody should be able to just cleave off the guy, just make sure to stop it. Using bell here, it's a good place to get a bit of damage on these illusions. But the comp is also really huge here. We have the, okay, not mega huge, but I thought we have a boom here for some reason. But we have the priest who's able to dot everything up here and just cleave it down slowly. And here we're also getting lost soon, sending a sentinel. Getting ready to the direction of the ads. It's a bad positioning, so I'm gonna run over to it. You can definitely do that. Just ideally you wanna move at the end of the room, or make sure you end off like an edge of the room before he goes to the middle, so you have more time to DPS the boss down. Again, here we are ready with, we have Ardent Defender ready, we have Bubble, and we have Boss, which can take a hit. Probably gonna Ardent Defender, yeah, using the small defensive first. Again, just stacking it up, making sure we get as much value as possible. And here we're gonna move into a corner, because there's not too long until he goes to the middle. One thing you can do, as you saw me do there, is you can use a horse to outrange his tank hit, because it's a frontal cleave thing. So every horse, if you don't have offensive, or if you're struggling on this boss, just use a horse, but make sure you don't cleave any of your people. They will get one shot by it, but it's a good way to not use a defensive. And now it's just about this phase again. Dodge the balls. We're sending Lost a bit early here. Not sure exactly why we chose to do this, but it's okay. Because you can see on the timer, we're only gonna get really one more Lost. We might get... Never mind, we can only get one more. So yeah, ideally you save it and then you're Lost now. Unless everybody pops CDs there, then that's another story. But Priest is getting in 30 seconds, so yeah. Again, stacking it up. And when you get into this phase, you kinda wanna start using stops or like perma CCs on these small guys. So you don't have to get on top of them. We did have an enhancement in this case, so I just dragged until the end here, because he gets so much funnel from an extra target. I'm gonna use Guardian. Didn't really want to because it's almost dead, and I want stuff for the coming packs, but it's all good. Got Sentinel on the first pull. Now we're gonna head into the area which is, for a lot of people, this is no-go on bolstering weeks, but in my opinion, if you have a priest, it is definitely worth it. Because you only really have to pull one breaker, and you just focus that breaker and then you head on. And then like you jump over a lot of annoying pulls in the first area, and yeah, there's no mechanics really going on here. There's some tank damage, that's it. But I would definitely prefer this compared to pulling everything. So much HP difference in the show, also why it's the worst one you can definitely get on a bolstering week. But yeah, that's also why I wanted to show it to you guys, how it can be done definitely. If you don't wanna play around with Shadow Priest, you can do the thing where you pull everything before the second boss basically. But it is a bit worthy. Can be done though too. But so far you can see we have quite a clean one. No deaths. But yeah, we're gonna finish this off. This is just the room, small looters, the big froggies here. We're gonna cut a little bit. We don't really want to send Sentinel in this 3-pack. Kinda wanna pump the next pack here. There we go. And now we're gonna head into the breaker. And you just wanna do some funnel on the breaker, and when it's ideally dead, because it's the only guy, or when it's like same HP as the other guys, a little less, you can head into the coming packs. because you just want to make sure he doesn't war with bolstering, because that will kill someone. But if your group has know how to press the defensives, you can technically tank this. You can take like definitely take more in this area. People just have to press the defensive. Like you see, that was a war. Didn't deal next to anything. Have guys popping something though. Another war here. People in defensive, so not taking any damage. But again, he's getting fronted good by the rogue and priest and the shaman. And when he's dead, we're just gonna pull the rest of the room here and finish it up. And also the slams can get kinda tricky. So one guy is definitely fine, no matter the key level, in my opinion. Now we're just gonna change the rest of the stuff. It is bolster, but you're just gonna focus the highest HP targets anyway. And this is so low, so it's not gonna get extreme value from getting bolstered, so it's okay. And again, when we're in these packs, we just wanna last as long as possible in Sentinel, since we're gonna be in these packs for quite some time. If you do are struggling a bit, just make sure you can kite in between, use the talent into the slow in your consecration, and that's a good way to not take so much damage. Also make sure to use Bob and Bubble in between here when you get a lot of these tear flesh dots on you, because they will start hurting. You'll probably see me getting, not sure if it's this one, but sometimes you can get around 6-7, and it's, you gotta use something because it will hurt. And trinket wise, we are going with the we have the icon right now, and we have the in the bottom right corner we have ready and pull. You can see the trinket I'm using. It's the one from Grim Totem. I quite like it on Fortified weeks. Gives a lot of damage, defensive, and healing value. And here he just popped his Mind Soothes on the guys. Was a little slow to stack them up. Just make sure to stand in the corner so this guy doesn't run over the Mind Soothe pack. Then we're just gonna do a little pack here, sending some CDs, and afterwards we're gonna head on to the third boss. So yeah, that's basically how I would pull this dungeon on bowstring. Nothing crazy. Only we have the beginning starting pull, which of course always gonna be a bit iffy, but you have the tools as a paladin to reset the stacks 2 times with boss and bubble, and use stops for that sake. And you usually lost it on Fortified weeks. And then the rest is kinda chill pulls because of bolstering. So yeah, consistent damage. And solid pulls that doesn't get bolstered works out. And then not much gonna happen on this pack. On this pull, this boss. Just know, don't send your CDs on pull. You're gonna waste them since he jumps so quickly. But while he's gonna head out for a jump here, we can talk about a comp. What do we have? We have a. We have the best thing we probably have is the priest. It's not tyrannical even. I was thinking about the HP increased. But it's the shaman. I benefit from the totem he has, Wind Fury, and the rogue also does. And I guess we have some good funnel, or we have some decent funnel from the rogue. Or prior damage it's called, and we have some funnel from the shaman. And then in our stops, because we do have the rogue, he has war storms, but it's capped at 5 targets, and you really want a lot of AoE stops in this dungeon. Here we have the shaman with his totem, and it can be like almost a quadruple totem or something if he talents into it right, or like 4 stops in a row. And then you have the 30-second storm thing that knocks them up. And then we have war on a druid, and he can also, he doesn't have it, but he could Ursox like the vortex, and then he could push. So that's generally your stops. And if you get a rogue or warrior or hunter for that sake, you gotta make sure like you have classes like this that makes the stops. So for Azure Vault the comp is okay, but it's definitely not the best combination of like damage increased and stuff like that. But yeah, still onto the boss here. It's the boss. Just wanna try to mid-max your damage, get your hammers out, fish for more damage, which the Q in my instance, like your blessed hammer. Just pump it. You can use it defensive whenever you like, because as long as you're at 100% HP when the bomb thing goes off, you're chilling. There's not much else to it. Let me just take a sip here. Like right now, when the first bomb goes off, that would be an ideal spot if you feel like you need it to use the defensive. Otherwise, there's not really any point in doing it. And make sure when the boss targets one of your players with his beam, just use Sax or boss for that sake if they really need it. But ideally, you save boss for like here. I think. Don't sack the guy because he used cloak, as you can see on Omnicities on the left side of the rogue. But boss ideally we save for the next boss, since it can deny a tank hit down there, which can be really useful. And then positioning, like there's a few ways you can do it, but ideally if you have two Milim, like in this case, you would have like the rogue and the shaman on the side of me, and I'm like in the middle, in the back, and then you have the range on the side, like in a C format, and you just keep going upwards. Or you can stand like in a straight cross line and keep doing that. It's kind of the best way to do it. And if not, if people are fucking it up, just try to have a horse and be in the back. That way you're the only one who's gonna take maybe a second hit, but you have a lot of defensive, so you're just gonna pop something. Here we got iron barks. I'm not gonna use anything, just gonna have a Vog ready, send it. And for this phase also, since we spec into the double freedom here, gonna be able to get a lot of value from it. Since they changed the boss here, you just kinda like you spawn the small orbs, and then they're gonna come now, and then you just kinda move away for them as quickly as possible, and they're just gonna be chilling in the background. If the healer there, probably haven't seen the change, soak the ball. You just kind of want to try to move the boss away from the blobs before he does this, so they have space to DPS them. And then ideally, if you have this double freedom, just use it on one of you guys here, so they have free range to go around and DPS. Here we're gonna pop. We're gonna get ready with a Tuna now. Popping it down. Can it be a bit scary when you're getting knocked backwards? Probably gonna happen once or twice for us. And you only have 2 as a defensive, because it cannot reach. You have to be really careful about that, because you just use it and you can't use it because you're not close enough, and you're just gonna get one shot. Like in this scenario, I'm out of range of 2, but I have Sentinel, so we're chilling. And you can also do it with Bob. Just make sure you like taunt and bubble if it's from range. Otherwise, it's just gonna tank hit somebody else, and they're not gonna have a good time. Here we was still in Sentinel, but it was running kind of low on stacks, so we popped Art Defender just to be safe. We did block it, as you can see, so we took no damage. Again here, sending a bell. Putting freedom on Shaman here, so he can run around and do some damage. And here again, Priest, Boomy, stuff like that. Range DPSers are really, really strong here, because they can just stand still and DPS from ranged. And dot classes can dot all these shots up and have a good time. Again, now we're just building. We're close to Sentinel, but we still have Boss and Bubble ready. Popping Sentinel though. Should definitely have used like if it wasn't for Sentinel, like we should definitely have used a Bub or a Boss in this case, just to get it out there and like get the forbearance off, so we like have another one ready and we can get some smaller cities up again using Art and Defender. We have so much to use here, so we're not even required for 2 extra defensives in this case. Again, setting Bell here, just letting the guy AoE the packs down, and I'm gonna go and throw some hammers on this single target ones. Again, we Tyr here, so we're chilling. Now I'm gonna use Buzz. You can see here, I'm standing from range. I don't have any defensive, it's Buzz. I take 0 damage, so strong. And now we're just gonna DPS it down here. Timer is a bit tight. But it is, as I said, the worst combination of or the worst FX thing is in this dungeon, so it is not the funnest. But yeah, we did it. She did damage breakdown on the side. Solid from the DPS side, and we did around 70k. I could probably have done a bit more, but yeah, that's it. And I think I might show some breakdown of the damage here. We'll see in a second. Yeah, here we go. See, I have the Tyr doing 5%, shocking the closure 2%, and all this elemental stands in the bottom there. That's our Grim Totem Trinket. And there you have the talent I talked about. 70% shielding, aka healing. Really like that. Definitely consider that. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.